The manifestation gurus were right, guys. Being delusional is, in fact, the key to success. A couple of weeks ago, I was traveling and I bought this book at the train station, The Latte Factor. Super short book, read it in less than a week. It didn't feel, in the moment, it didn't feel groundbreaking. I wasn't so much underwhelmed, but I was whelmed. But in the days that followed my finishing of the book, as the book stayed in the back of my mind, it hit me. Like, I finally understood the real piece of wisdom that was in this book, not only about money specifically, but about what it is to actually feel wealthy. One of the main takes of this book is that making more money and earning a higher salary does not equate to you being richer or feeling wealthier. And the reason being that for the majority of us, earning a higher income just means that we're going to raise our living standards. It's very similar to the idea of the hedonic treadmill, where it was found that for us humans, when we reach a new higher level of happiness, we adapt so quickly that we forget how happy we were when we first got there, or even how much we used to fantasize about even reaching this level. And it's the same thing for money. If you receive a $500, $1K, $5K, $10K raise, what you're going to do most likely, at least for the majority of us, what I've had been doing for my whole life, is raise your living standard. You're going to buy nicer clothes. You're going to order in more often. You're going to go to nicer coffee shops, restaurant. You're going to get a nicer car and a nicer apartment. What this means though, in practice, like after you've upgraded all of that, is that at the end of the month, the old you and the new you are just as rich. In other words, you're both just as poor because you'll still be living paycheck to paycheck. So what's the alternative? How can you feel richer now? Because this book says that even right now, you can actually feel richer than someone who makes double your salary. And how, you might ask? Dream big. Because if you don't dream big, meaning that if you don't take the time to define what rich is for you, then you're going to waste your money on other things and end up not ever really feeling wealthy. Ask yourself, what are some crazy dreams that you've had? Just look back and think about some things that you have fantasized about since you were little, or still fantasize about to this day, that require a lot of money and that you were convinced that someone like you could just never afford, so it'll always just be a fantasy. If you have trouble defining that, because me personally, when I first read the book, I did, you can start by asking yourself, when you think about being wealthy, what are you thinking about? Like, what does wealth look like to you? What does it feel like? Why would you want to feel wealthy? Is it because it would give you access to, for instance, freedom or calm, safety, power, love, beauty, fun? Once you determine which of these things you really want, it's going to be easier to find things and big expenses that would give you that feeling. To give you a better picture, I'm going to tell you what I did. Following this book's advice, I thought really hard and I realized that what I value more than anything are freedom and safety. Looking back at my life, it's not hard to see that freedom is truly number one for me. Both negative freedom, like freedom from any bad situation. Like, my worst nightmare would be to be stuck in a bad situation, like a job, a city, a relationship, anything, just because I don't have the money. I also care a lot about positive freedom because I'm someone who thrives on novelty. And so I always want to have the possibility to try new things and go to new places. Now, safety, I guess freedom is more my heart. Safety is more of a need. Like, I am very hypersensitive. I always have been. I'm extremely sensitive to noises, smells, crowded places. I'm basically like a cat. And for me and my body especially, to feel safe enough to then be able to just like pursue what I want to pursue and enjoy anything, I need to spend most of my time in very like calm, quiet, clean. That's a huge one for me. I'm a bit of a germaphobe. Clean places. And sadly, as all of you know, because we're all suffering from the same thing, especially if you live in a big city, the type of place that I just described, getting access to those places, it's becoming increasingly rare and therefore increasingly expensive. And now that I've determined that freedom and safety are the most important things to me and that I've visualized them being applied to my life, and when I do, I understand that that to me is like the pinnacle of happiness and luxury, then I can proceed with the one life-changing advice that this book recommends, which is pay yourself first. Every single month, at the start of the month, when that money hits your bank account, before any other expense that you make, you take a portion of that money and you put it to the side for your big dreams. You know how a lot of kids have a piggy bank and they just put like spare change in it and over time it grows? And a lot of them on the piggy bank, they write what they're saving up for. They can write like trip to Disneyland or new Spider-Man bike. It's the same for you. This is why you have to dream big, because the bigger the dream, and especially the closer it is to what you truly want and value most in life, the easier it's going to be to make that sacrifice. And it's not even going to feel like a sacrifice. It's going to feel like an investment. And you're just like that kid with the big piggy bank. You're just going to be excited every time you see it growing. Especially, and this is what the book explains as well, if you put that money in any type of place that has an interest rate, because following the principle of compound interest, unlike the piggy bank, the money you put in there, it's not going to stay stagnant. It's going to grow even more. It'll grow much faster than you think, especially considering how little you put comparatively every single month. All you need to do is stay consistent with it and always pay yourself first at the beginning of every single month. Obviously, also, the earlier you start, the better. You're going to see being reasonable and mindful of your spending is going to be easier than ever. This is why the book is called Latte Factor. It's important to understand, however, that the book is not telling you to never enjoy a latte or never go enjoy your life. It's telling you that maybe like the girl in this book, in the story, maybe you can rethink that habit that you have of just buying a latte on your way to work every single day. And really ask yourself every single day when you go to work, do I really want a latte today? Because every time you won't really want one, that's going to be an extra $4, $5, $6, $7 invested in your dream. It's also telling you that, oh, you used to buy this product that's like $4 or $5 more than the other product. And to be honest, like there's not really a reason for it. Like maybe you like the packaging, but the quality is kind of the same. And trust me, once you determine what that big dream of yours is, it's going to be so much easier to determine what you actually really want, what you're actually really craving. And you'd be surprised, saving up on a couple of lattes every week, every month, even more if you save up on like ordering in or eating out, it builds up quick. And in a matter of no time, you'll have that amount that you're ready to invest when you pay yourself first at the beginning of every month. And so it won't even feel like that huge sacrifice, because you'll only sacrifice things that you don't actually really want. And you'll have money growing in an account for your dream. So you will feel wealthier and richer immediately. Guys, trust me when I tell you, if I can do it, you can too. For almost 30 years, I was the person who could not save a penny to save her life. I would buy myself little treats every single day. I would make impulse purchases left and right. I would even, like, just to feel bougie in the moment, sometimes, like I said earlier, I would buy, like, going to the supermarket, I would buy the most expensive version of something because it just like felt good in the moment. Because I was convinced that the only way to be super wealthy is to land a job with a crazy high salary. And that until then, I couldn't afford any of my dreams. So I might as well spend the little that I have on these little treats every day. Even though I was very privileged when it came to my education, I never received a personal finance or money education at all. Saving, investing, finance, business, entrepreneurship. I genuinely thought that all of those things were for professionals and experts who just had access to some kind of intelligence and knowledge that was so far removed from me and that I could just never really understand. And I was completely wrong, so wrong. Turns out that doing something as simple as determining what you really value in life and what would really make you happy and putting money into that first will make you feel so much wealthier almost instantly. It'll also suddenly give you so much self-control and mindfulness and discipline. It's so simple, but again, so many of us, I wish it was taught at school, all of this, because it affects literally our entire life. And to make matters worse, we're bombarded every single day with hundreds, thousands of advertisements telling us that this little product will be the key to our happiness. And somehow, still to this day, I fall for it sometimes. But even when I do fall for it, I fall for it a lot less, and I have a lot less guilt about it, because when I do fall for it, I always check whether it's related to the things now that I really value in life. Also, regarding impulse purchases, if you have, like I used to have, a problem with that, I made a video recently where I give a couple of practical tips to make it a lot easier for you not to make those impulse purchases. All right, That's all for today. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. I'd really love to hear all of your thoughts in the comments. Are you also like me, a very late bloomer that's just getting started with all this? Or are you someone who's been lucky enough to have been taught this at a very young age? And if so, have you seen the results that you've wanted to see? Do you truly feel wealthy now? I want to hear all of it, and I will see you very soon in the next video.